What's up, everyone? My name is Javin Romero. Welcome to the Catacomb Cult Podcast, and we have a dope episode for you this week. We have an interview with my friend, dope artist, photographer, musician, Girlwolf, Cindy Girlwolf Clark. She's lead singer and guitarist of the band Mediocre, and it's all DIY. I love that kind of shit. You know, the sets are all handmade and hand-built, and the designs and everything's all edited in-house and stuff. It's badass stuff. And, you know, I love when everything's like done as a cohesive unit by the artists. It's dope. So yeah, I'll leave links to everything Cindy Girlwolf below. Her photography's badass too. Her modeling. She's an awesome model to shoot. I've shot with her a couple times and you don't even have to say anything. She hears the click and she does her movements, and it makes the job of the photographer pretty fucking easy. But anyway, yeah, we have a pretty cool conversation. We get into deep shit, like about mental health, growing up in a small town, art, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's get to the episode, and thank you. Like and subscribe, motherfuckers.
Run for your life. Your life, held by my ancient hand this day.
Catacomb Cult Podcast. Catacomb Cult Podcast.
Hello, welcome Cindy, aka Girlwolf. Thank you for doing this, and welcome to the Catacomb Cult Podcast. And how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Thanks for hanging out with me.
Yeah, thank you for gracing us with your presence. You're a badass artist, photographer, musician, model. How'd you get into that stuff?
Well, honestly, since I was a little kid, all I've ever done and wanted to do is create things. So it just spiraled out of control, and here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just kind of obsessive, and it kind of gives me a rush to make something. It's the best feeling I've ever had, and it's something that's always there for me, even when no one else or nothing else is. So
Yeah.
I just keep going, and I'm kind of like, I can get burnt out on one faucet, so I need several. And I also just like have a hard time distinguishing between them. Like, it seems like all of it is necessary. That's why I like making music, because it involves every single aspect. It involves video, music, poetry, photography. You need all of it for that. So that's why ultimately I turned to music, because it's putting everything that I've worked on together.
And you put a tremendous amount of work into your music videos. I've seen, like, her band is Mediocre. The videos are fucking insane. The music's great too.
Yeah, thanks. Like, it's weird because it feels like it's not the right type of music for the world right now. It feels like it's a type of music that's like really overlooked right now and not really interesting to people as a whole. But I find people in this niche that like really appreciate it and like hear it and feel it. And I like making something that feels like it's this year, 2021, but with like a 90s spirit. I like the spirit of the 90s. I like how it felt then, and I can't really kind of get over it.
Yeah, so. I think that comes across. That that describes it perfectly now that I'm thinking of the video.
Yeah, I never wanted it to be like fully throwback, because, you know, that's already in existence, but I do want it to be like the spirit.
Yeah. So you're from Arizona too, right?
Yeah. Well, I was born here in Torrance, and then I moved to Arizona when I was 5.
Oh, okay.
In Kingman, Arizona. It's a town that has less people living in it than I have followers on Instagram.
Oh,
when I moved there, there was like less than 15,000 people there.
Really?
Yeah, it was a piece of shit.
Yeah, I've only really stopped there to get gas and stuff, like
Yeah,
on the way
that's all-
to Vegas
that's
or
all
something.
people
You
do.
know?
Yeah, that's all people do.
Yeah. So what was it like growing up there, being like an artsy?
People really fucking bullied me.
Really?
Yeah. Well, like there was constantly things I was doing and I wasn't making myself like a small target. I was just constantly being weird how I am now. But then, or like I'd cut all my hair off and people would like, I would walk down the street with my boyfriend and people would yell fags.
Oh,
like
really?
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Literally people
Yeah.
people couldn't handle anything I did. Like I would, how this is right now, I would, you know, cut patches and write poetry all over my clothes. I was just like posting my poems on MySpace. I was always like doing everything that I wanted to do, but there's like a lot of like oppressed rednecks there. There's not a lot of diversity. You know, I was raised in a household with like a guy who was openly racist, grounded me for becoming a vegetarian, truck driver, NASCAR loving, barbecue loving. And I don't mind any of those things besides like the racism and bigotry.
Yeah, I got you. Did you
Like-
see that piece Sacha Baron Cohen did on that? I can't remember. It was the Showtime show. He had a Showtime show and he did something in Kingman, Arizona.
No.
And it was some of the most like, I think, he was like proposing, he was in his character, you know, and he was proposing to build a mosque in Kingman, Arizona.
Oh my God.
and it was like a town hall meeting.
I
And
know this place. Like
yeah,
this place, like it's kind of funny because like, you know, the negative comments I get about my band and stuff are from all the same people that I dealt with growing up. You look like when someone says something really hateful to me that I've triggered them just by like existing or making what I made, I look into it. I'm like, why is this person in hatred of me? It's like a social experiment. I'm just like wondering. And then I click and it's the same type of people that I grew up with. And they fucking hate me. And maybe just by growing up with it, my like defiant type self learned to trigger that type of person because I was constantly like triggering my stepdad. Like I would put up that kiss poster of those two women making out in my bedroom so that like I could make him miserable. You know, I would just do everything that I knew would push his buttons. And with my art, I'm not necessarily trying to do that at all anymore, but it might just be natural. I might have become an instigator just from how I was raised, you know? Like, so it's kind of funny.
So what sparked your interest in photography and stuff? Like, how'd you get into that? Was it painting before or like?
No. In fact, I used to love to draw and stuff, but that's my least favorite type of art to create because I don't have the patience. And as you can see right now, I'm like shaking my leg. I have completely restless legs. It doesn't even mean I'm nervous. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It just, I can't stop. And I've been like kicked out of class for it. And my doctor can't even stand it. But so like, drawing is slow for me. It's hard. So photography is actually perfect.
Yeah.
It's instantaneous and you're capturing something real and you're capturing something just the one moment. And I like the ability to focus on the one moment. But how I started with photography was I was a little fucking kid and every Christmas I was amazed by photos and I would ask for a camera. So I'd get some little camera with some film or, you know, and it would never get developed. But there's images from when I was a little kid that I would set up backdrops and like color scheme my sisters and make them sit there and pose. And I've been interested in photography since I can remember.
Yeah, like your photography sets and stuff, you get like real elaborate with it, and it's all DIY. I like that DIY spirit. You know what I mean?
I'm about like resourcefulness since like I don't have that much, or I grew up without. I was my art started as a kid. So when you're a kid, you don't go to the store and buy the material you need.
Yeah.
You go and find it in your house. So cardboard is like my favorite medium, like, because why? It's cheap and I just think it's funny. Like, I like how it looks. I love how it looks. I just think the reminder of that childlike aspect of it, and something you would do when you're little. You find this box and you make a spaceship out of it. Like, that's tight.
Yeah.
And like, I'm more inspired by like a kid's drawing than an adult's drawing. When I see little kids' drawings and art, I'm like, that is pure. And I think it's so funny, and I think it connects directly to their psyche, and I think it's so interesting. So
Yeah.
that's why I make sets like that.
Yeah, this shit's awesome. What's up, everyone? Javin here. I just wanted to take a second to mention my online store. We have prints, t-shirts, hats, and special gifts with each purchase. Everything is handmade and designed by myself or other amazing artists I know. Quality materials and timely shipping, plus that extra special ingredient, love and appreciation. Your support helps my creative endeavors and supports other artists like me. Visit thecatacombcult.bigcartel.com. Yo, new and limited items are cycled through there all the time, so at the Catacomb Cult on Instagram or my personal page at Javin Romero. The revenue I see from this shop gets poured right back into things like short films, photo shoots, lunches, and gas money for any crew or actors helping me out, you know, locations, all that. Plus you get some dope shit. So thank you once again. Let's cultivate. That's stupid. All right, thanks. Peace.
Welcome back to the Catacomb Cult Podcast.
So how'd your band come up? Like, how'd you get into music?
Well, again, when I was like, I can literally remember being like 5 and going up to the TV and pressing rewind over and over and trying to match pitch to like cartoon songs like Five Little Mousekewitz on An American Tell.
Oh yeah.
And I learned to sing from a cartoon mouse, so maybe that's why I sound like I do, but yeah.
It's somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love the American Tale.
Night wind starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. So my band came about, I mean,
what's your band's like genre, if you can pigeonhole it?
It's actually pretty hard for me. Like, I think it's rock, but it's kind of like grunge spirit, but everyone knows grunge is just more of a movement than a genre in reality, because those like main grunge bands you think of like are all different, but they were a part of a movement. So I obsess about those guys a lot, so that influence probably comes out of me. But I think, just in my opinion, it's rock. It's like art rock, whatever, because it can be poetry to the point where it's not that repetitive. I don't like repeating very much because I get bored. Like whenever I tried to cover Nirvana, like I get lost just repeating the chorus over and over again. I'm like, where am I?
Yeah.
I've forgotten where I am. I'm so ADHD that my biggest challenge playing live is like, I might just forget where I am.
Yeah.
And I might forget that I'm playing a song. So like, it's hard for me. So what can keep me more attached to it is making it various. And I have a lot of like progressive influences like Coheed and Cambria, and I love the way that Rush moves through a song, and bands like Queen and stuff. I think that, and Tool. So I think that stuff is really cool to me. And while I might not be able to write those types of riffs on guitar, I respect that, and I kind of implement some weird timing things. But how the band came about for me, I guess, like in high school, I actually always wanted to be in a band, but I really couldn't because of the town that I grew up in. Like, there was a huge like hardcore scene, and the guys were like such like pricks. Those were the main guys. Like if I wore like an At the Drive-In t-shirt, they were sitting there quizzing me and like on my ass about it. And like if I updated my MSN status to like a lyric of something, they would be like, messaging me the lyrics to see if I knew what it was from off the top of my
Like
head.
testing if you're a poser
Literally,
or what?
yeah. Poser testing me just because of my boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But but so like there was no way I could have done it. I was already getting massive shit. Like it wasn't gonna fucking happen for me. But what's kind of funny about it is like all those guys that like were in all those bands, like I don't think a single one of them that I can remember is making me, actually like maybe a couple a little bit, but I don't hear from them now. It's like,
So did you go to high school out in Kingman?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got out there. I got out of there as soon as I could. I went to NAU, Flagstaff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Flag.
And that's,
It's maybe slightly better. Do you like Flag?
dude, I wanted to kill myself there because it's so fucking cold. But,
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful little town.
Yeah.
The people aren't like Kingman. It's
Oh, yeah.
nothing like that. Like there's a different breed in Flagstaff.
It's more hippie vibe.
Yeah, Kingman is like I could be in Flagstaff. No one was torturing me.
There is a lot of Kingman type people though there.
Yeah, they're around. They're around,
Yeah.
but it's not the overwhelming majority.
Yeah, I get you.
So like I never had a band all of high school, anything. I was always in choir and stuff. I was just fucking singing anyway. And then like I started in my band Earth Sleep when I moved here. And
When was that? When you moved here?
I moved here in 2011 and I got in Earth Sleep in maybe 2014 or something.
I moved to Cali in 2011 to San Diego. I lived there for a year and then came up.
Oh
here,
yeah,
so.
I didn't know you lived in San Diego. It's much different than here.
Yeah, I like it down there, but
Yeah,
I just wanted
it's
to.
chill there. But there's
Shan lived up here and he was always asking for help and stuff.
yeah,
too, so.
he's the best.
Yeah.
That's how we.
That's
met.
how we met, through Shan working on music videos. and-
Yeah, that's fun stuff.
Yeah.
Shan's great. He's taught me a lot of things, and I really appreciate him. He's
Yeah, same here.
and he's a hard worker, and he's a nice person. And it's rare. Like I meet so many people in music, and like you can separate the true people from the
Yeah.
fucking
yeah.
gloaters and annoying shit.
I think they call them clout chasers.
Yeah,
but-
dude.
yeah.
There's like they're so backstabbing. Like so yeah, I was in Earth Sleep and I was just a singer, and then my band like for like 4 or 5 years was working on a 10-song album, and we had all the songs written, but my guitarist / boyfriend at the time could not get out from under himself, and he would not finish the songs. He refused, and I caused a pandemonium about that because I was like, I can't wait 5 fucking years. My life is like
Yeah.
passing, and you're just going to concerts instead of working on ours. Like you're finding every distraction in this world. And so my band formed a mutiny against me and kicked me out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And then so I became my own guitarist because I didn't want to deal with one. And now I have Mediacore.
You were a hustler for that band, too. I remember, like, seeing
I
all
was
the stuff,
hustling like crazy, and no fucking music was coming out. I was like
Yeah.
posting and getting us cool shows, playing the whiskey residencies. Like,
Oh, yeah.
and
I saw you guys at the Bordners?
yeah,
Borders.
then
Or is it,
That might have been
is
our
the one next door to it? Or?
we played there twice. You might have been at our very first show.
Maybe, I don't know. It was when I was like kind of first learning, because I was always more of a computer nerd. I was always like did photo retouching and
Yeah.
stuff. I was never really an actual photographer, besides random other little stuff. But
You're good at the editing.
oh yeah, thank you. And then I think that was the first time I was like actually doing like show pictures.
Yeah.
I took a couple snaps at that.
Yeah. So you might have been at our first one. If not, it was.
It was wild. It was dope.
Yeah. Yeah, that band was so fun. I do miss just being a singer. I feel that in Mediacore, I haven't had the chance yet to perform enough to fall into it as well as I had with Earth Sleep because I had played more shows. Like, I need more shows with the pandemic situation.
Yeah.
So, it was really fun, and I put my whole heart into that band as well as this one. But this one I learned a lesson. Like, you can't let anyone stop you,
Yeah.
and you have to drop the dead weight if someone's not going to move on. And like, they kept the same band but changed the name and deleted me off of the album I paid half of.
Oh, yeah.
And like re-recorded like the vocals with someone else, completely different vocals that sound like shit. Like, so I spent thousands and thousands on that, and it's like, okay, guys, good job. And
Yeah, that's a raw
all
deal.
they ever did, and it's been years, and all they ever did was remake a couple of the songs that we had, and they've put out nothing. So it goes to show like who's like putting at least at the end of the day, I can release music. Like that's the goal, right? I want music and music videos. Like I couldn't go on for years and years being controlled and told like you cannot finish your work. I was suffering like bad. So now I have Mediacore and I gotta be the boss.
Yeah, and so you like got your hand in a lot. Do you video edit too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I edit all our videos.
Yeah,
Except our first one, Chemical, was edited by Jan and Ale, who shot it,
Oh, right on,
of Coco Vera.
right on.
I let them edit because they're the best.
Yeah, and so how did like Mediacore come about?
Well, I was dating my old guitarist, and he had his SG in my house, and he said, you cannot play guitar when I'm home. So it annoyed him that I would play guitar. So I played while he was at work all the time, and I started writing songs. And then one day I was just like, before Earth Sleep even blew up, I was like, I'm gonna make a band.
Yeah,
And so I think the first full songs I even played on guitar were the ones that I wrote. So I just use the guitar as like an accompaniment to my voice. And then I use Lucas. Lucas is the bass player. He fills it in.
Yeah.
He makes it more complex and like interesting. Like the guitar is actually more of an accompaniment to my voice, but sometimes I even write on bass. And then if I write on bass, I just make him play guitar.
yeah.
So, I just wanted to deal with as little as people as possible.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I end up doing everything my fucking self.
I haven't made music really in a long time, but I was a rapper, but I did make my own beats for the most part. I'd have friends that would contribute, but it's a real solo activity, rapping.
It's
you know.
it's better because that way you have no one to blame if something doesn't get done. It's
Exactly.
you. You know, it's you. It's on you. So that's your responsibility, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes being in Mediacore and having to be the person that initiates everything, like it's hard at first, and it's hard realizing, wow, dude, I have no one to blame but me if nothing happens. And you got to step up to the plate, and in that freedom there's more responsibility. But at the end of the day, it's probably a lot better for me. At least I can move. At least I'm not frozen.
Yeah. How do you feel about today's climate in music?
Oh, like total shit.
Yeah.
I'm
glad you say that, because like I have like this. I start the first few episodes. I had like a haters corner, because I'm a kind of a hater.
Yeah. So
And like every guest I asked, they're like, "Oh no, I don't." But
I don't
like,
have anything good to say about it.
Yeah, the same with hip hop. Like I don't listen to, because I'm a hip hop guy. I don't listen to. I don't know. I just don't like any of
what's
it.
going on is Lucas and I talk about it a lot, but he talks about like the decay of society, like when when Rome began to fall. Like people are so.
I'm loving this that you're saying this. This is exactly how I feel.
It's so weird. It's getting weird. Let's just say it's getting weird because there's these content creators. There's a difference between content and art. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
And art takes a long time, and content doesn't have to, but it can take a lot of work.
Yeah.
But people want to watch something. It's so weird. People just want to watch ordinary things right now. And there's a lack of appreciation for like groundbreaking art. And there's like, I feel like screaming basically all the time for what I see that's worshipped. I don't understand it. I feel like totally lost. I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, I get that, like that feeling. You're just like, I don't know.
I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'll probably die and nobody, like very few people will ever listen to my music or art, and that's just going to be that, because by what I see that succeeds
Today.
It's not looking good for me.
I get that. I hear you.
It's
But
not
maybe
looking
there will
good.
be a shift or
It's
something.
not looking good.
But I don't see it coming.
I'm concerned.
So are 90s like the golden era of music for you? Or do you like classics and old school punk?
I like,
or?
yeah, I mean, 90s is my favorite, but like I like Black Sabbath, so any Black Sabbath with Ozzy stuff like
definitely.
that. You know, it's a lot of eras of things that are valuable, and I think there's things still valuable occurring now. Even some of the most famous people, like I still respect them. Like I like Poppy. Like I like. Do you know Poppy?
I don't.
She's on Sumerian Records, and she's like sings like all like poppy and cute, and then screams like it's like metal, and she has this metal band behind her. And
That
it's
sounds
fucking,
cool.
It's kind of fucking cool.
Yeah.
So there's some stuff that I do see that gives me hope, and I cling to it for dear life. I'm a huge fan of like Grimes. As much as everyone's hating her because she married Elon Musk.
Oh yeah. I know of her. I just don't know it.
I don't care, because I like her music and I think it's innovative. And I think at least I hear like a voice in that I recognize with some type of perspective outside of things. That's,
who I like in the I guess pop world. I don't know if she's pop, but is Kali Uchis.
I don't know who that is.
She's like from Colombia, I think, but I think she grew up in East LA or something. But she's got kind of like this weird funk to her that I dig. That's kind of,
Yeah, there's some people that I like, you know?
yeah.
It's just a lot of it really depends on how much things succeed because money's poured into them.
Yeah.
So you can't look at something and say, this is just thriving because this is valuable. That's not really how it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's investment. It's pushed a certain way. People know what to do.
And the artists don't even put much effort into it. It doesn't seem like either, you know? I don't know.
Some of them that are like aided, you know, by people who know what they're doing. Like I would give everything for someone who knows what they're doing to help me market, because I don't know what I'm doing as far as that goes, and I'm doing my weird best, but
I love it. I love your weird bets. Your stories and your posts are awesome. I watch them all.
I'm a big complainer.
That's the funniest people are.
Yeah. Oh, and my Facebook status the other day was like, I've never met someone that was funny that wasn't depressed.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I haven't.
Probably true. Yeah.
But you know, like, I get sick of like, I would sacrifice being truly professional if it meant that I had to shut up and not say what I really felt. I would rather be a loser. And say what I feel. So I think in many ways, maybe I've harmed myself by saying what I feel, but in that light, I have people messaging me like, you're inspiring me, like you helped me, like you helped me get treatment for my mental illness, stuff like that. And I'm like, for me, that's more valuable because that's what I really meant. You know?
Yeah, they can tell the integrity behind it.
Yeah, so like that means more to me.
And speaking of mental illness, I know you put it out there a lot and stuff, and like make it aware and stuff. And people who follow my show and people who know me know I'm a fucking basket case. Like when it comes to anxiety, and like severe anxiety, not just like social,
Yeah,
you know.
I know. Once
Yeah.
we were on that music video and we had to wipe our faces all over the back of the sheet so that we look like ghosts pressing out, and you were like, I'm gonna have a panic attack.
Yeah, I almost puked. I
Our
almost
lips
threw
were
up.
numb because we were like rubbing our faces on this sheet, and
Yeah.
it was actually really hard and stressful. It was claustrophobic.
And it was I was like, I don't want to ruin the take or whatever.
I
like,
know. It
so
was
like,
weird though. We were
pressure,
just
you know?
like going next to each other.
Yeah,
like it was embarrassing.
Yeah, that was fun. I forget. I did have a panic attack.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a full like over
Yeah,
the.
you
but I
didn't
had,
go over the edge,
but
but
I
you
had
were
a-
like, I'm getting right there.
Yeah.
But it was like a weird feeling because my lips were like
Yeah, that
so
shit was crazy.
because we were doing like full
It
takes.
was like on a spandex.
Yeah, and they didn't.
trying to look like
they didn't even
demons.
use that shot.
They didn't.
No.
Oh yeah, they
We got-
didn't. I did. I remember seeing the video. They didn't use it.
Yeah.
And we did that for like.
We just did that
a long
forever.
time.
Shannon just like tried to fuck us up there.
That was the weirdest though. The
lips,
being numb.
Our lips and noses were numb because we were like rubbing it all over sheets. Like I never do that.
Yeah. But I like how you put out like
Oh yeah.
like the anxiety or like your issues and
Yeah,
stuff.
well, I'm bipolar type 1,
Yeah.
borderline personality disorder, ADHD, OCD. So
What is borderline personality disorder?
that one's a weird one. That one honestly comes a lot from like people that experience lots of trauma a lot of the time in their younger years. When you're an infant, your brain kind of sees black and white. The two hemispheres of your brain aren't communicating that greatly. And if you're like borderline, you can kind of stay in that black and white thinking. Like it's
okay.
almost like you don't ever have those connections in your brain and learn to communicate. So it's really weird. And you have like this identity kind of situation where I have this like emotional impermanence where you like, you know, my boyfriend can tell me I love you, but like if I don't see him for 2 days, like I can't really remember that. People can tell me I mean a lot to them or like my art inspires them, but I forget. And I think part of me taking so many pictures of myself and stuff is because I'm so confused about what the hell I am. And it's so hard to remember. I have this, if something's not right in front of me, it doesn't exist.
Oh, okay.
And it's so fucking scary.
Yeah, that sounds like scary.
It's constantly scary. I don't think very highly of myself most of the time because I don't have the ability to remember what I've done or who I've been. Like I'm constantly seeking my own validation, maybe just a picture of myself, like to comfort myself or like an object just to hold and ground myself because I am so not grounded in a way. I'm constantly floating throughout space. I'm like estranged. I don't know. And there's this thing with borderline personality disorder called splitting. Like if something triggers me, I can come from thinking everything's great into the exact opposite, to self-harm, to self-mutilation, to going to like an emergency. Like I've been hospitalized against my will 3 times, you know, stuff like that. Suicidal, you know. And the thing about borderline personality disorder is it's mostly behavioral issue. It's not as much treated on the medication spectrum as it is DBT and CBT therapy, where you're trying to reframe and relearn how to think because your thoughts aren't exactly right, you know? And you're trying constantly to reframe your thinking, and you always end up resulting in the same old shit. But you learn how to identify, is this all or nothing thinking? Is this black and white thinking? Is this overgeneralization? Like you have to like practice.
Yeah,
Practice thinking.
That sounds intense.
Yeah.
Have you done a lot of like intense therapy and stuff?
Yeah,
because I just started. And it's not even intense. It's like, but yeah,
regular.
Yeah, but she's basically saying like, yo, because I've had anxiety literally since I can remember.
I know you do. Yeah,
and like she was like even as like a 3-year-old, I guess, and I don't even remember it like being
Sometimes we're just born like this.
It's because my mom's a real anxious person. My dad is real sees the worst in everything. Like, hey, I'm gonna go with my friend and hike the Grand Canyon. Don't do that. You'll twist your ankle and fall to the bottom. Like, like just
So they're instilling fear.
Yeah. And,
they're instilling irrational fears. Like, so you have to like unlearn what people have taught you.
Yeah, the counselor I'm seeing is basically saying I need to go see a psychiatrist and maybe get put on something.
Yeah,
because I've tried Zoloft once, like years ago, but I'm not really that depressed.
That's good.
It's more of a just like I can't,
because I'm fucking depressed.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I hear it. Like I have a lot of friends that are depressed, and
That's
it sounds
really good though that you're not that depressed.
Yeah, I get like little things, but like mine's more like, oh, I gotta drive to DTLA. I gotta take back roads the whole way there because if I freak out on the overpass and cause pile up,
I can't stop having like like part of the OCD and PTSD stuff that I have are like extreme visions that flash to me, and it can happen when I'm driving, especially that I got hit in a car wreck last year. So
I saw that. Yeah. That looked bad too.
That was fucking bad. Like, and that has tormented me since.
Yeah, I could imagine.
It has tormented me. Like my face and eyes still hurt. Like I'm lucky that I had a side airbag. I don't know if I would have died if I would have been like, or been much more hurt. If I maybe would have been like a second earlier, he would have smashed all the way into my door. He totaled the car, like, and he just ran a red light. Yeah. I was going through a fucking solid green, and this guy just takes me out. And when I got out of the car, after the glass broke and all the airbags deployed and everything, I was laughing and celebrating because I thought I was dead. I thought, as I saw the glass break, I thought, this is it for me.
Jeez.
And I thought that I was going to die. And my grandpa had just died 7 days before from being hit by a car walking.
Oh, Jesus.
And I was like, I'm going to die. Goodbye. And then I got out of the car and I was like, yeah, I'm just so fucking happy. Yeah. And I was in all this pain.
Yeah, crazy.
But I was like, I am so happy I'm alive. And
when something like that happens too, it's like, it like scars driving, because that's happened to me too. I got in a wreck and it like scars driving forever kind of.
Oh, I'm having hard times.
Yeah, like when, like even people just creeping out trying to, like when they're trying to turn onto the road.
I jump.
Like,
I jump massively high now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm crazy. I'm embarrassed. Like I've had to pull over so many times. I refuse to stop driving because I know that if I give in, I'm going to get worse.
Yeah.
I know that exposure therapy is the way to get out of certain anxieties. Like,
yeah, that's what I hear.
It hurts. It's painful as fuck, but I keep driving because I cannot let it take me over because I know what happens with avoidance.
Well, the reason I because driving's not my only anxiety, but like I'm scared to do that on the freeway because when I get like panicked, I freeze up. Like, and that's dangerous.
I worry about me. I'm like, am I just gonna stop? Is there gonna be a moment where I have one of those visions? When I have those visions, it seems like I feel it, I see it, I hear it, and it seems like the real world that's actually occurring disappears.
Yeah.
For a moment, and that's scary.
And it's
and
all,
what's not scary about driving anyway? What arbitrary lines that we trust a bunch of dumb fucks to like pay attention to?
Yeah, it's already a high stressful situation anyway. Yeah,
it's
your motor skills are all on edge,
dude. Driving's scary, especially here. It sucks.
I'm good though, like driving to Arizona, like in the desert. I like that, like on the freeway, just in the middle of the desert, cruising. I like that kind of shit, but
I don't like passing semis.
Yeah. That could be.
I always overestimate the width of my car.
Oh yeah, that was a good, nice. I might do like a mental health hour or something.
Yeah, I always have something to say about that. I mean, I've been taking medication since 18 and going to therapy since 18, and I've done like group group therapy sessions where it's like 15 weeks of cognitive behavioral therapy, and you're sitting in a room with like people that are highly afflicted by mental illness, and we're all just kind of supporting each other, and that is brilliant. I really loved that. Like, you have to humble yourself to be in that room and know that you're like, you know, having like serious issues.
Yeah.
And they had us charting our moods, and mine were the most erratic from day to day. Like,
Really?
yeah. It's hard for me because my bipolar seems pretty under control. I don't have purely depressive or purely manic episodes since I've been so medicated for so many years. Now I think it's more the borderline getting me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is art cathartic for you like that, or does it? Because I find I find when I'm excited about a project, a lot of my worries and anxieties are like alleviated a little bit, but
it prevents me from killing myself.
yeah, that's good.
Because I think everyone needs purpose, and I think like in the broader spectrum of things, I feel like a big fat loser because of all the things that I cannot do, but there's something that I can, and there's something that's always been there for me. And even when I'm all alone, if everyone has left me, I can still make a song when I'm wanting to die instead of dying.
Yeah.
And it is a lifesaver. I think a few things have saved my life: medicine, therapy, educating myself about my own mental illness and what other people have gone through, and absorbing others' art and making my own. Those are all the things that saved me.
I think that's how an artist almost should be, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's rough though.
It's definitely
it's rough because a lot is riding on it. Like in
Yeah.
that case, like if you're using it as a reason to live, it can become exhausting. But
and the highs and lows are
there's like
Yeah.
it's really.
yeah, that's intense.
I just have to constantly humble myself. You can never expect anything, and you can never expect growth, and you just have to keep fighting, I guess.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do but
What else can you do?
yeah. And like, I'm so far into it, I wouldn't know my identity if I wasn't making it. I wouldn't know what the fuck to do. I hate like waking up, taking a shower, doing some dishes. What? All that stuff is terrible. Going to the grocery store. Like, I am so estranged. I don't like
Yeah.
common daily tasks or just living for living. I don't even like it.
See, I like cooking just because it's like meditation for me.
I wish,
It's
dude.
like you kind of just blank out if you're just doing like a repetitive
I have
task. Kind of.
such food-driven anxiety. I think it's weird that I'm having to like eat so I can digest. It creeps me out.
Yeah.
Biology creeps me the fuck out. Like, my body is freaking me out. I have a lot of physical illness as well, so
Yeah.
I feel bizarre all the time. I'm trying to I'm like, when am I gonna feel less weird though?
Yeah.
Because I've been around.
Yeah. I hear you. That's kind of like this. I'm 35 now, just turned 35, and like this is the first time I'm going to like a therapist.
Well, I'm
at
glad
all.
you are.
Yeah.
I think it would help anyone.
Yeah.
I'm a huge advocate for therapy. I think it helps.
Even just the fact that I took that step makes me feel better about it for some reason.
And
like I'm finally doing something.
yeah,
you
and
know?
the way that you're saying it out loud
Mm-hmm.
to someone who's a professional, to someone who has no stake in your life, so they're not biased. It's just good to get off your chest, and it's good to hear yourself say the things that are troubling you, and that kind of reaffirms what's going on. And sometimes just saying it to them, even if they're not even the ones helping you, it helps you.
Yeah. How is the pandemic lockdown? Has it helped you, or has it been like? Because I'll be honest, I had kind of was like at the beginning of the lockdown, I was kind of like at my most creative. I made a couple short movies, funny movies with my dog, and like I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of like a reclusive dude
I am
anyway,
too.
you know. So
I'm totally reclusive, but
and it kind of gave me like an excuse to be that way. You know what I mean?
I thought it would, but it actually hurt me a lot.
Yeah.
I think that if I get more reclusive, it's harder for me to go see anyone.
It's
so-
definitely not healthy in the long run.
Yeah.
But
And I was just sitting there and just the lack of physical activity and the feeling stranded in a room. It was it's not been good. And but I have gotten stuff done. I finished my EP Puppy Boy during the pandemic. I've made my Halo music video during the pandemic.
badass. We'll have all those links too.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
but I think overall it's hurt me because I think I'm just having to come out of it, just like that exposure therapy thing I'm talking about driving.
Yeah.
I'm having to do that to see other people now. So I can't, so it's really important that I do see other people at this point, because I feel like I could easily become a total hermit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what it was for me. It was like a warm blanket for me. Hey,
I'm already like that, so I
Yeah.
thought, you weaklings, this is gonna be so
Yeah.
fucking easy for me. But then I realized how much the little connections that I do have with people mean to me.
Yeah.
And how much the collaborating with a photographer or shooting a model or this podcast or anything. I realized that's a huge part of my life and my days, and it's really important to have other people, and that made me appreciate other people for what they really are, and they give me energy and they motivate me, and I need it more than I thought.
That's badass.
Yeah. I learned that I need them more than I thought. I thought I could do everything by myself, and I cannot, and I need people, and I just need them.
Right on. Yeah. Well, shit. That was a great podcast. I loved it. Yeah.
Shit.
I do this thing also, I don't know. It's kind of like a pay it forward, for my 10 people that listen. But do you want to promote somebody who you think needs? It's like pay it forward. Promote someone who you who you think might need some love. You know what I mean?
My friends Coco Vera have a band, and they are so creative, and they make these stop motion blacklight music videos that are so
badass.
fucking sick. And Ale is the drummer, and she is on my album Puppy Boy, and she is such a fucking great drummer. And Jan is the singer and plays, guitar, and she's just a good poet. And so you should check out Coco Vera.
Awesome. And anything else you'd like to tell the world? Thank you. I really appreciate you doing this. This was
Thanks.
It was enlightening too.
Thanks for having me. It's fun.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay.
All right. See you later, everybody.
Established in 399 BC, this is the Catacomb Cult.